for Performance Global Broadcast Centre with Jeremy Shaw, and we are getting set to work out our grid for the Motul course to Monterey, powered by Hyundai, in 2 hours and 40 minutes on race day, which is Sunday tomorrow. We're winding down towards the end of what has been a long Super Saturday. Qualifying to come with the two quickfire 15-minute sessions. Shay Adam is our CrowdStrike pit reporter and can give us our GT qualifying drivers. Good afternoon, Shay.
Good afternoon, John, and hello to all the fans here at the track and around the world. We have a very special qualifying coming up for you because it will be a two-part qualifying. The first part, all of the GT cars, the Pro and GTD as it is. So who's going to be going out for qualifying? Well, from the back to the front, let's start with number 120 Porsche from Wright Motorsports. That's Adam Adelson, who is doing the duties there. For the number 557, as it is this weekend, Turner Motorsports BMW, normally the 96. It's Mr. Patrick Gallagher looking for his first pole position on what is a very special weekend for Turner Motorsports indeed. Karong Lee is the driver for the MDK Porsche, the number 86, and Misha Goikberg doing the duties for the 78 Forte Racing Lamborghini. We've got Brendan Narib and Sheena Monk as normal for the Inception Racing McLaren and the Gradient Racing Acura, respectively. Russell Ward currently holds the qualifying lap record for this track. He's going to see if he can go out and beat it by a couple of seconds, because that seems to be the pace with this new tarmac down, and that will be for Windward in their number 57 Mercedes. Danny Formal has been fast all weekend in the Lamborghini for WTR Andretti, and he's got a really good shot at getting this pole position as well. He'll have to fight off Jared Andretti in the number 43 Porsche for Andretti Autosport. In the number 34 Conquest Racing Ferrari, it's Manny Franco. Ferrari have a great record at this track as well. Mike Skeen is doing the qualifying duties for the 32 KPM Mercedes. We've got 3 cars left in the class. The number 12 Vassar Sullivan Lexus is Frankie Montecalvo. The number 13 AWA Corvette, Ori Fidani. And the number 27 Heart of Racing Aston Martin, it's Spencer Pumpelly. He's had a couple pole positions around here in the past in other machinery. All right, so for Pro, in the number 1, it is Madison Snow for Paul Miller Racing. In the number 3 and 4 Corvettes, the number 3 has Alexander Sims behind the wheel. And the number 4, that's Mr. Tommy Milner himself. The number 9, Pfaff Motorsport McLaren. Pfaff have a very distinct honor. They are undefeated in qualifying at this track. Now, it was with a different brand, but it's Marvin Kirchhoffer who's going out for qualifying for them. Number 14, Vassar Sullivan Lexus is a man who has literally just got off the racetrack in another race. That would be Jack Hawksworth. He's also got more pole positions than anyone else in the category. Number 23, Heart of Racing Aston Martin, this is the other one, has Super Mario Farnbacher, a guy with 2 wins in the GTD class here. We've got the 2 Fords to go. The 64 will be Mike Rockenfeller, the 65, Dirk Mueller, and last but certainly not least, Rexy, fan favorite out there, Porsche, also undefeated in GTD Pro qualifying. Let's see if Seb Priou can keep that streak alive.
That is the bright green dinosaur styled car. Jeremy Shaw, as I mentioned, in the Ford Performance Global Broadcast Centre with me. Qualifying lap record, he's going to go, Jeremy, isn't it, here this afternoon?
Yeah, probably on the outlap, actually. the qualifying lap record stands to Matthew Jaminet in what was then the Pfaff Porsche back in 2022 at a 1 minute 23.1. The fastest lap we've seen in practice so far was by Jack Hawksworth this morning at a 1:20.3, which was it's only 3.5 seconds actually away from the LMP2 lap record around here. So it shows you how fast the GT cars are going right now. In GTD, the lap record is Russell Ward, was 1:23.5, also a couple of years ago.
Hello, Andrew in Australia, in Perth, 7:35 in the morning tomorrow. He's speaking to us from the future at IMSA Radio if you want to get in touch. Perfect weather conditions here, as it has been all day. Still a race to come, of course, for those of you here at the circuit. 63 Fahrenheit and partly cloudy, not very cloudy in fairness, but that humidity stepping up a little bit from earlier on. Been an absolute corker at the track today. Weather set fair as well for tomorrow. Let's hope we don't have any early morning fog to slow things down. I tell you what, I can't pick the winners, the pole sitters out of this. It's been very, very close all weekend. A variety of cars have been quick, Jeremy, both in GTD Pro and in GTD in the early sessions.
Yeah, it's been tight. It always is tight, isn't it? And you're picking a pole sitter out of this lot, you've got to be kidding. Having said that, of course, Jack Hawksworth, you never count against Jack, do you? I mean, he is, as Shay said, he's got more poles than anybody else in GT. A total of, well, 12 officially, plus, however, 3 back in the days where you had different qualifying drivers and setting the grid, so it's complicated. But he has 12 official poles, but 3 more, which would make him the most prolific point scorer since the advent of the WeatherTech SportsCar Championship in 2014, the record officially held by Ben Keating and Ricky Taylor on 14. But yeah, Hawksworth, yeah, you don't count against Jack, particularly as Shay just said. He's got pretty recent experience on this track, i.e. about 20 minutes ago, when he finished just off the podium in the Pilot Challenge Series. So yeah, Jack Hawksworth would my pick at number 14 for GTD. Tough one, that. It's going to be wide open. Danny Formal, though, as Shay Adams said a little while ago, he's really on top form at the moment in that Andretti Lamborghini. Don't count against the number 45 car.
1:38 in the morning in Sweden. Hello to Sven Johansson. Not sure if you're getting a bit of the northern lights, the Aurora Borealis tonight. It was pretty impressive across Northern Europe yesterday evening, not quite so prominent tonight, but if you're still tuned in the UK, where it's coming on at 20 minutes before 1 or 20 minutes before 2 in Central Europe, it might be worth sticking your head out after we've done our qualifying session. Just the 15 minutes, it's fast, it's furious, it will set the grid, and with 24 cars out there, there's going to have to be a bit of respect given here to make this work, and that's easier said than done with racing drivers. Waiting for these times to come in. 1:23.1, as Jeremy was saying earlier on. Hello, Andy in Prince Edward County. Should be an absolute corker. Come on, faff, he says. Thank you, at IMSA Radio. All set up and ready to go. If you're tuned in on RS2 IMSA Radio, don't forget, for the first time this weekend, our international feed, which is always live and free on the live video button on IMSARadio.com. We're also on YouTube, on the official IMSA YouTube channel. So if you've got a clever telly, it might think it's smarter than it is, but if you have that app, punch in IMSA in the search and subscribe to the official IMSA channel, and you will see that we have the live coverage. And if you're outside the US tomorrow, you'll also be able to watch the full race live on there as well. And whether you're in the US or further afield, of course, we will have the second Mazda race for you tomorrow. That will be on the live video button on IMSARadio.com. And you can always get the audio via RS2, and tomorrow will be on Sirius XM as well. I haven't got a channel for that yet. I'll promise I'll have that for you tomorrow. 10 minutes to go. Let's see, what are we getting down to? No, still not anywhere near the lap times that we need to start getting excited. It's about bringing the temperature and therefore the pressure of the Michelin tyres up gently. These tyres will have to be used in the 2 hours and 40-minute race tomorrow, so you don't want to completely take the performance out, and you have to start on the tyres on which you qualify. So this will be the first stint tyres tomorrow. 1:26 for Danny Formal. No difference in the cars, remember. A BMW in GTD Pro has the same performance potential as a BMW in GTD, same for a Porsche in either class or any of the other manufacturers. The difference between GTD Pro and GTD, other than the number panels, red for Pro, green for GTD, is the makeup of the driver team. Driver complement. You can only have a single full-time professional in the Pro category. It's free in the GTD category, sorry, it's free in the Pro category. Still waiting for a time somewhere in the mid. Oh, there we go, new lap record for qualifying. Madison Snow, first proper flying lap, 1:21.8, and he's been beaten by 2 cars straight away. EO Racing, Seb Prior, Mario Farnbacher, Harter Racing Team, Nicky Katzberg, Corvette Racing, 1:20.5, Jeremy. We've knocked 3 seconds off the times. Incredible.
Yeah, that's a good effort. He ran a 1:20.4 this morning, did Nicky Katzberg in a qualifying sim. But that's a good opening gambit for him. His first sort of representative lap, if you like. Mike Rockenfeller, that's a big improvement for the Ford. 1:21.3. His best time earlier was actually by Harry Ticknell, 1:21.5. So yeah, the Ford, yeah, they're making good progress with that car, and I don't think they're going to be challenging for the win here yet, but making good strides.
If the Turner Motorsport team get a car to the start of the race tomorrow, they will become the most prolific Pro BMW team in that marque's history, hence the 557 on the side of what is normally the 96 car. Patrick Gallagher on qualifying duty for that, and IMSA giving them a special dispensation. That car number will still get all the points for this weekend. What an achievement that is by Will Turner and the team, going back their first outing on Turner Motorsport. Have been around for a relatively long time. Started in 1993, turned pro in 1998, and since they turned pro in 1998 have never run any other manufacturer than the Bavarian brand, BMW. 9 championships across that history as well. 1:20.502 then is the best for Nicky Katzberg. 1:21.2 for Danny Formile in the Lamborghini is the best of the GTDs, and rather unusually we've got 5 GTD Pro cars at the top of the times. They will start as they qualify. So if we had a GTD car, a Pro car, 2 GTDs, 2 GT, that's how they would start. We do not split up the Pros and the GTDs on the grid. For the purposes of qualifying, this is seen as a single category when we put them on the grid, although we'll still give you, of course, the pole sitter in both of the classes. Jeremy Shaw, this is heating up nicely. 3/10. Oh, as I say that, Antonio Garcia blows it wide open. I was about to say 3/10 between the top 7, and then he's just gone 3/10 quicker than anybody. Said Nicky Katzberg's put half a second on the field. Yeah,
that's a stunning lap from Katzberg there, the Dutchman there. 1:19.727 for Katzberg. When I was thinking about potential pulses in GTD Pro, I was going to say the Corvettes to be the challengers for Hawksmith, but that's going to be hard to beat. I think a 19.7 is a really, really good effort by Katzberg. As you say, almost a half a second quicker than no less a man than Antonio Garcia. So that is stout by Katzberg. He's now lifted off, and I fancy that might be it for him. I don't think he's going to improve much on that one. Great effort by Nicky Katzberg. And now we've now got 6 GTD Pro cars ahead of the best of the GTDs, that being still Danny Formale, just from Spencer Pumpelli. That's off to Spencer, just .031 behind the Lamborghini in the number 27 Harder Racing Team Aston Martin. So great job by Pumpelli.
And the top 19 cars across the 2 classes are inside the previous qualifying lap record for GTD Pro. Just telling you how things have moved forward since the repave last year. Also a slightly different tyre as well, in fairness, for Michelin, which is a little more durable actually than last year's tyre, so it doesn't quite have the same single lap performance, believe it or not, but which is probably why we saw the guys taking it a little bit easier and first really quick laps not coming in till they've been out there for 4 or 5. But on last year's tyres, I fancy they would have been even quicker than what we're seeing now. Under 4 minutes to go. Marvin Kerkhofer again for Pfaff Motorsports. McLaren up to 3rd. Corvette, McLaren, 3 mid-engined cars there, ahead of the first of the front-engine cars. Vassar Sullivan, Jack Hawksworth in 4th position. He's fully 7/10 off, and a second away for Seb Priaulx. This is not what I expected. I expected to be much, much closer than this. And Nicky Katzberg has put half a second on the field. That is extraordinary. Madison Snow has decided to pit. He's had enough. He's not going any quicker. Mario Farnbacher improves to a 120.4. And Seb Priaulx improves to a 120.4, excuse me. Farnbacher was a 120.6. That is extraordinary.
Yeah, it is.
Antonio Garcia just improved a tiny bit there, Jeremy. Yes, he did, didn't he? Half a tenth or so.
Yeah, he did. That's true. Yeah, he did. Yeah, wow, that was a good effort done by him, because Nicky Katzberg is already into the pit lane with 2.5 minutes remaining. So, like I say, I can't see anybody getting anywhere near that. I mean, yeah, Madison Snow, he lost about 1/10 of a second compared to this morning. Seb Priaulx found a couple of tenths of a second. Jack Hawksworth has just turned almost identical time to this morning, about 1/4 of a tenth of a second, i.e. not very much.
Yeah.
Slower than his best time this morning. Big jump though for Marvin Kirchhofer, 20.3 here as against his time this morning of the 20.6. But the big jump there by the two Corvettes, and particularly Nicky Katzberg. That is a remarkable lap by the Dutchman.
Antonio Garcia has just lost a lap for track limits. Just to put that 4/10 in perspective between first and second in GTD Pro, 4/10 in GTD takes you down to 7th. The gaps are 0.031, 0.023, 0.014, 0.035, 0.013. So this is what we're talking about, what we were expecting to see, as Antonio Garcia does shave another 1/10 or so off his time there. He's now 9 laps on his Michelin tyres, which he has to start on tomorrow. He's down to 3/10 away from his teammates, as Patrick Gallagher goes to the top in GTD for Turner Motorsport. Way to celebrate their record-breaking run, and the 5:57 Liqui Moly car is on to provisional pole for GTD and 7th best time overall. That's a fabulous time, a 120.995.
Stout. Great effort there by Patrick Gallagher. He'd be thrilled with that lap time. I mean, gosh, his best lap this morning, a 21.4, so a full half a second he has found now to move himself up into the... did he just improve again? No. Did he improve again? Not last time around. I think he might have done, actually. 20.995.
No, that was the time.
That was the one, was it? Okay,
yeah.
beg your pardon.
Yeah, he hasn't come back
so
round
moved himself
again.
ahead
Yeah,
of
he's just
Madison
coming to the
Snow
end of
then
the lap
in the other BMW. So that's a feather in Patrick Gallagher's cap as well.
Top 3, top 4 now into the pit lane, as Danny Formal takes back the GTD provisional pole with a 20.8. And checkered flag is out now. Patrick Gallagher has pitted, will start in P8, effectively on the outside of the front row of GTD. 2 Chevy Corvettes, a McLaren, a Lexus, a Porsche, an Aston Martin, a Lamborghini, 2 BMWs and an Aston Martin Vantage are the top 10 in all of the GTD competition. Coming to the line now, 2 cars, which includes the AWA Corvettes. Improvements for Ori Fadani, no. The 120 was in there. Adam Adelson did not improve either. Misha Goikberg for Forte in the Lamborghini Huracan. 78 did improve to a 121. And Russell Ward to third in GTD, right at the drop of the flag with a 21.0. 10th best time overall, but third in GTD, puts himself ahead of Spencer Pumpelly. Apparently, there is, well, Nicky Katzberg aced the sectors. So his time of 1:19.727 is not just the best time, it is the best theoretical time. Nobody went quicker in any of the 3 timing sectors than Katzberg. That effectively then is the perfect lap for that session. Quite an extraordinary run.
And a full tenth and a half quicker than Antonio Garcia in the final sector, which is the shortest sector on this racetrack. Just from out of Rainy Curve, out of turn 9, so just the last 2 corners, then the drag race to the finish line. A tenth and a half on Antonio Garcia. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's half of the gap, Jeremy, between himself and Garcia in a 17.5 second segment. First segment 28-29 seconds, second segment 33.5 or thereabouts, third segment 17.5 seconds, and he's taken half of that 0.311 seconds out of Antonio Garcia in the run down to the finish line. And he will be very happy indeed. Nicky Katzberg, who is a brilliant character, man from the Netherlands, who will literally drive everything and anything he's asked. He's in an LMP2 car for Le Mans for the first time this year, and looking forward to that, I know. But he'll be very pleased with that in his quote-unquote day job here with Corvette Racing by Pratt Miller in the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship. Just waiting for the cars to be sent down to the far end of the pit lane. We'll grab a word with Danny Formal from Wayne Taylor Racing, who captures the GTD pole for Lamborghini, and for Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti. Is that 2 first-time poles at this there, Jeremy? It is
indeed, John. Yes, which doesn't happen very often. Nicky Katzberg is his 21st start overall over the years for Nicky Katzberg. He made his debut back in 2016, so he hasn't been a regular in this championship certainly, but had some success in the past. Got a couple of wins to his name and 4 podium finishes and a fastest race lap, but this is his first pole position, so really good job by him. And for Danny Formal, ditto. He's been in this championship, only just made his debut in 2022. This will be his first full season and his 9th start, and he scores his first pole position as well for that WTR Andretti team.
Nicky doesn't always qualify. I think this might be, if not his first, certainly an unusual occasion for him to be out qualifying. So he'll be absolutely over the moon with this one. Danny Formal has arrived at the interview area first. Shea Adam, our CrowdStrike pit reporter, is there. We'll try and grab whoever the TV aren't with at the moment. Live from trackside, Shea Adam, Jeremy Shaw and John Hinoff in the Ford Performance Global Broadcast Centre. And Shea, just jump into it. Just grab whoever you can and let us know who you've got. 1:19.727, a new outright GTD, therefore GT3 lap record here for Nicky Katzberg. Danny Formal yet to get out of his car. No, he's out of the car. And Shea Adam is at that end of the pit lane, which is pit out.
Congrats, Nicky Katzberg. Didn't take you very long to figure out how to get pole. Is this your first ever time qualifying for Corvette Racing as well?
Yeah, it is. Honestly, super cool feeling. Finally got the trust from the team to do a qualifying, and yeah, super nice. I mean, the guys had to work really hard all day because they had to change an engine, so it wasn't an easy job, and super proud of the boys to get it ready just in time. Very well done by Tyler, my engineer, to get the car in the right window, and I only had to do some laps, and super nice, great feeling.
What are you expecting from the race tomorrow? Because you're going to have your teammate alongside you for the start.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if I have to have anyone besides me, it's Antonio, so I'm not too worried about that. He's a great teammate, a heck of a driver, so that's going to be good. We knew track position was going to be important here, so we put a lot of emphasis on the qualifying performance. Obviously doing the test here last week or the week before has helped us a lot, so very, very, very pleased to be on pole.
Congrats, super happy for you.
Thank you.
Ryan Smith, the PR guru for Corvette Racing, just there as well. Third IMSA pole, first for Corvette Racing, and the very first in WeatherTech competition for Nicky Katzberg. Let's go to our GTD pole sitter for Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti Goebel. Lamborghini Huracan number 45. Danny Formal is with our CrowdStrike pit reporter Shay Adam.
And the reason that we love racing is because family. Danny gets to celebrate with his family. Kyle Marcelli's here, brother from another mother. I know you got Graham Doyle. What's it like to get this first pole position and have these guys, the WTR Andretti crew, greet you and congratulate you?
It's incredible. I don't want to get more emotional. It's too much. It's too much. To be honest, I didn't think I didn't feel great. I was over driving. Obviously, we knew I had a very good car after practice too, and the track right now, if you drive hard, it's slow. And I was driving hard, trying to get the time out of the car, driving hard, and that's not the way you do it here. So I got behind one of the Corvettes, which I know were going to be really quick. I think it was the number 3 car. I had the number 4 car behind me, so kind of just like say, measure. Thank you. So, you know, they're a little bit faster, but not so bad. I was like, okay, so the track maybe is not as quick as it was this morning. Nonetheless, that last lap, I kind of put it all together a little bit, kind of messed up the corkscrew, but I gained it back in the last 2 corners. So pole position, 3rd race of our car, you know, it's unbelievable. 4th race, sorry. My 2nd qualifying ever in IMSA WeatherTech Championship. And yeah, tomorrow's a 2-hour, 40-minute race. A lot of things could happen. It's a super fast track. Traffic is going to be a key. The prototypes are a lot faster than us in the corners now with this much grip. So luckily there's no P2s, only GTP. So yeah, extremely happy, grateful. WTR Andretti, Dex Imaging, Lamborghini, number 45 in pole position is just a dream come true.
Congrats, Danny.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's lovely, isn't it? With 2 first-time WeatherTech pole sitters there in our GTD classes, Jeremy, and 2 drivers for whom that clearly meant an awful lot. Not just about track position, but both Nicky, who's been around the block a few times, and Danny Formal. Genuine emotion there, Jeremy, from both of those drivers.
Yeah, cool to see, isn't it? And cool to hear, I should say. And yeah, I mean, brilliant effort by both of them. I mean, there's a lot of quality in this GTD field. And both of them came out on top in their respective classes there. So, yeah, hats off to them. I mean, God, that was a stellar lap from Katzberg. I mean, no question about it. To put 0.3 of a second on Antonio Garcia, that is saying something. So no wonder he was delighted. And for Danny Formal, I mean, he's such a cool story. I mean, he was a standout in shifter karts for many years, and he tried to get the break into car racing, but never could really make anything happen. He certainly doesn't come from a particularly wealthy background, but he's worked hard. He was given an opportunity 4 or 5 years ago to race in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo by Alan Nadal at IMSA Motorsports, and he's parlayed that into where he is right now, and hats off to him for working so hard. And no wonder he was emotional, because he's worked so hard and thoroughly deserves that first pole position in this championship. And of course, he's a 2-time champion in Lamborghini Super Trofeo, going for a 3-peat this year, he hopes. He'll be, of course, racing in a little while when the second round of the Lamborghini Super Trofeo kicks off in about an hour or so.
The noise on track should tell you the GTPs have been unleashed, and their 15-minute session is underway. Shay has been spotting drivers as they were jumping into the car while she was talking to the GTD and GTD Pro Pole Centres. She is multitasking, and she can give us this Grand Strike pit update.
There was a lot of staring at helmets as they were driving out the pit lane, John, not going to lie, for about half the cars in the field, because the other half I was able to, well, predict educationally. In the 01, Sebastian Bourdais is doing qualifying duties for Cadillac Racing, trying to start third again, because our first 3 races have been won by the car that started in third in the GTP category. Ben Fiscal is given the qualifying duties for the number 5 Proton Competition Mustang sampling Porsche 963. No surprises there. Jimmy Bruni will be taking his car to the finish. In the number 6, oh, thank you, Matthew, for just chiming in at exactly the right time, as that was the car that fired into life in the background. And yes, it is Mathieu Jaminet, the current record, or former record holder in the GTV Pro category. He's now going out for the overall pole. He was second last year, so keep an eye on him. Dane Cameron is in the sister car, the number 7, the car with nobody out in front of it because it has the best pit box on the pit lane. Number 10, Ricky Taylor, a guy who's got in pole position here twice before overall. He knows what it's like. He knows how to get it done. And we do have a WKR Andretti car sitting right in front of me. So, hey, it's happened before. It can happen again. We've got Philip Bang and Connor DeFilippi on duty for BMW M Team RLL and the numbers 24 and 25 respectively. It's been the Pippo Durrani show all year long, as back into the pit lane come both of the Cadillacs. They were just scrubbing in a first set of tires, as were the number 10 Konica Minolta Acura, the number 24 and 25 BMW. So it was a very popular decision. You are allowed to change tires during this session, by the way. You're not allowed to change tire pressures or anything. You can only change the 4 black Michelins that go on the car. Number 40, I've yet to tell you about the red and black WTR Andretti Autosport car. That one is Louis Delatraz. That did catch me as a little bit of a surprise. And in the number 85, ladies and gentlemen, this track loves one driver in particular. He loves this track so much that he has named a beer after it, and it is Richard Westbrook behind the wheel of the JDC machine.
That's right, he has. The Westbrook Brewing Company, Jess and Rich, low carb, gluten free. It's lovely stuff. You can get hold of it. Go and look it up. Tim Cindric overlooking the Porsche Penske Motorsport operations here. Roger Penske was at Spa today. He'll be getting on a plane. Tim not allowed to be at Indy for the Indy Grand Prix. The team have imposed their own suspensions on a number of staff members after the erroneous code on their Indy cars that overrode the push-to-pass regulations. Tim is going to have a busy month in sports cars, so I'm sure there'll be plenty for him to do still at track. I don't think he's going to be sitting at home with a drink with an umbrella in it with his feet up and his slippers on, but not allowed near the not allowed to even be on a line or a call to anything in terms of that suspension imposed, as I said, by the team. All right, down through Rainy Curve, 130 odd miles an hour, down through the gearbox at the end of the lap, hard on the brake, down to first gear, 47 miles an hour through the middle of the corner, using the hybrid boost now as he accelerates, 5th, 6th gear, coming up 165, 170 and still climbing as he was going down towards the first corner. And Louis Delatraz has just put the first lap in at speed, 117.139. Where are we going to get down to, Jeremy? We did a 14.7 in qualifying last year. That's going to go as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, by a long way, yeah. 13.3 was the best time this morning in FP2. It wouldn't surprise me if we go a little bit quicker than that. I mean, judging by Nicky Katzberg's lap when he found a massive amount of time in the Corvette, are we going to see an improvement like that? Probably not, but I think we're going to get close to probably low 13s in any case. But I would suggest might be good enough for the pole position. We'll see. The GTP cars, we generally don't see their ultimate pace until it comes down to qualifying, but was it a little bit different here with the new track service? Were they pushing harder this morning than they might otherwise have been? Well, we'll find out, won't we, over the course of the next 9.5 minutes.
And Louis Delatraz dives to the pit lane. This is the only category in any IMSA qualifying who are allowed to do work on the cars in the qualifying session. Normally, just touching the car would disqualify you, and the only work that they are allowed to do is changing the tyres. No other adjustments are allowed to be made, but it is the only category that get any ability to come into the pit lane and change anything. A little bit of a lock-up for the Pipo Derani, number 31. This is the wheeling car, and heading down the hill now. Third gear through turn 10. Now to turn 11. What's his minimum speed? 48 miles an hour. Full throttle, using the energy boost again across the line, and Derani does a 14.0. Are we going to see something under 1 minute 13, 72-second lap? Possibly, very possibly. The LMP2, the sports car lap record here is a 1:11.1 in the Adrian Fernandez driven Acura ARX 01B LMP2 car, as it was
actually in
in those days. Did they do a 10-1 in qualified? Okay.
A 10-1 in qualifying by David Bramham that year. The 11-1 was the fastest race lap.
Was it a race lap, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Heavens.
So Derani to the top by just by 43 thousandths of a second over Dane Cameron in second position. Sebastian Bourdais up to third now in the Cadillac, which suggests would be maybe a good place to start, but we haven't yet seen representative laps from either of the BMWs.
Here comes Derani on his fourth flying lap, so he's done the prep laps. And he's got some energy there, and there it is, a 13 flat. That I think is the fastest lap we've seen this week, a 13.087. So just fails to get into the 12s. There's a 12 out there. I think there's a 12 out there now. I've seen that. There's a 12.975 on the board right now, because Dane Cameron was the quickest in the first sector, and in fact there is a 12.862 out there apparently if you hit all the best sectors. 13.0 for Derani. That's an improvement on his first sector time. He's gone quicker again. Dane Cameron a second for the number 7 Porsche Penske Motorsport car. It's the one with the black stripes on it. Pipo Derani is absolutely on the ragged edge of adhesion coming down through Rainey. This is going to be a 12 unless he completely messes up the last corner, and he has not, and he's still got some energy in the power bank, and he comes across a 72.5 second lap. 1 minute 12.6 for Pipo Derani for provisional pole position. Bourdais to second with a 12.7. My goodness, 12.7. So you can imagine Sebastian Bourdais. Sebastian, 12.7. Am I on pole? No, he's still a 10th away.
And John, all that much more of that time came in sector 1 for Pipo Derani, because Sebastian Bourdais was purple in sectors 2 and 3, but he lost a couple of tenths in sector 1. So there's more time in that number 01 car if he can extract it. But Pipo Derani, as you said, he was just ragging that car. He was right on the ragged edge through the final couple of corners on both of those last 2 laps.
Pipo Derani is down to under 30%, getting down to 20% on his energy level, whereas Seb Bourdais has still got 70%, 90% for Thomas Eng in the number 24 BMW. So they've got a bit of electrical power to use. Now, don't forget, the electrical power doesn't make you go any quicker. This is just a way of replacing the internal combustion engine. You've got a maximum amount of power that you can put out, and the clever systems on the car make sure that you don't go over that. But does that mean that Action Express, having used all that electrical power, have they underfueled that car deliberately to keep the weight down and keep the car dynamic? Because people can drive a car, he likes it pointy, he likes the front end to bite, and frankly that's how it looked, Jeremy, to me, where he's used much more energy than any of the other cars out there, considering he's done the same number of laps. In fact, he's done one fewer laps than Dane Cameron, who's still got 84%. People was down at 20 the last time I had a look.
Yeah, and it's tight near the top for 4 cars covered now by 0.115 of a second. It's Durrani, Bourdais, Jaminet up into 3rd position now, also in a 12.7, and is an identical time there for Philippe Eng in the number 24 BMW. So boy, it is tight at the front. Five cars covered by less than 0.3 of a second. The 5th of them being Dane Cameron, who was quicker again last time around at a 12.9.
Ipo Durrani is recharging like mad at the moment. He's got his battery to 25%, or his energy, excuse me, to 25%. Bourdais still got 70% on board. Jaminet 85, Eng 85, Filippi 85, Dane Cameron 80, Ricky Taylor 90. He went out last and has done slightly fewer laps than everybody else.
Improving again for Dane Cameron. He gets just ahead now of his teammate Mathieu Jaminet by 0.02 of a second, splitting those 2 Porsches on the second row though at the moment with 2.5 minutes remaining.
And Jaminet and Philippe Eng are on the same time, Jeremy, at 12.773. That's how close those two are in 4th and 5th. So the outside of the front row and the inside, outside of the second row and the inside of the 3rd row, the times are identical. The fact that Jaminet is 1 place ahead means he put the time in first, and Bourdais goes to the top with a 12.631. 0.027 of a second ahead of Pipo Durrani. Durrani's going to have to go again if he wants pole position. The 01 Cadillac is on top of the pile. Provisional pole position for the Motul Corsa de Monterey, powered by Hyundai N, is to Sebastian Bourdais and Cadillac Racing. It's still a Cadillac 1-2 though, with Pipo Durrani currently starting on the outside of the front row.
Yeah, and Jaminet improved then to a 12.6 in number 6 Porsche. BMW Conti Filippi up into 4th position now at a 12.7. Boy, this is tight at the front of the field. 0.142 of a second covers the first 6 cars.
Mistake by Dane Cameron at turn 4 on the lap that he's just completing, but he'll clean up his Michelin tyres and go again. A fair play to Michelin, by the way. These tyres are now 7, 8, 9, 10 laps old, and they're still giving performance as the fuel is burned off. Here comes Bourdais, and he goes quicker still at 12.4, and that's blown it apart. 0.2 of a second ahead of Pipo Durrani, who for a moment had dropped down to 3rd because Philippe Eng had put in a 12.6, and now Durrani is on a 12.5. There's more to come here. There's more to come with 42 seconds to go. Oh my goodness me. I thought we might see a high 12, but a 12.5 by 3 drivers, Jeremy. This is sensational stuff in the 2nd year of GTP.
It really is, and Ricky Taylor becomes the 7th driver sub at 1 minute 13 at a 12.9 though, but he finds himself a massive 0.46 of a second off the fastest time at the moment. And I think Philippe Eng is on a slower lap. Conti Filippi is in the pit lane already, so he's not going to improve his 5th position. Durrani coming down the hill. Is he? No, I don't think he is going to improve. Well, he's just gone personal best middle sector for Pipo Durrani. He's got to find a 10th of a second somewhere, somehow.
Last year, a 14.77. Everybody's under that by a considerable margin. The fastest lap we'd seen this week was a 13.3. Everybody's done a 13.3 or better. And my goodness me, that's a good run from Ben Viscal, who's just improved to that 13.3, less than a second away from Sebastian Bourdais, who pits. Checkered flag is out. Pipo Derani does not improve. He'll be starting from the outside of the front row at best. Philip Eng's in the pits. Mathieu Jaminet has gone through the checkered flag and doesn't improve on his last lap. Conor De Filippi's in. Dan Cameron is on a lap at the moment. Let's see where he is. 26.3 in the first. Second, no, doesn't improve. So it's down to Tymon van der Helm. He takes the checkered flag, doesn't improve. Ben Viscal improves again to a 13.314, but doesn't improve his position. Stout run by Viscal, though, for the first time in that 69.63 for Proton. And he is 0.8 of a second away from a new qualifying lap record set by Sebastian Bourdais on a 1:12.445. A tenth and a bit ahead of Pipo Derani, who was fully 0.7 of a second quicker than the quickest lap we'd seen this week, and doesn't get pole position. That's what that session was. That was outstanding. 2 Cadillacs on the front row, BMW and Porsche on row 2, BMW and Porsche on row 3. Row 4 is all Acura, and row 5 will be the privateer Porsches. Jeremy Shaw, I mean, all of those guys, those 10 drivers, take a bow. That was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, that was spectacular, wasn't it? I mean, that was absolutely superb. Really thrilling qualifying session. The whole field covered, as you say, by less than 0.9 of a second. That is amazing in itself, quite frankly, given the disparity of budgets for the 2 privateer Porsche teams. But I mean, look, gosh, a series of really quick laps. I mean, Pipo Derani, he was only a tenth away on that final lap. He turned the 12.6 on his final lap, and Dane Cameron, he was almost as quick as his best lap as well, just a tenth of a second away. So really interesting to see. There's good longevity, as you were talking about just a little while ago, from these Michelin tires, and stunning pace as well. That was tremendous fun to watch.
Sebastian Bourdais extricates himself from the gold-fronted 01 Cadillac. Well, that will be a real fill-up to Cadillac Racing, to Chip Ganassi, after a very, very scary accident for their team car in the WEC today, with Earl Bamber on board, the blue-fronted number 2. Destroyed the car halfway down the Camel Straight at almost top speed, and the race red flagged, unusually red flagged, for quite some time. Fair play to the WEC, actually. They stopped the clock and ran the last hour and 37 minutes or thereabouts, even though time was close to elapsing. So we got a bit of overtime there today. I won't spoil the result for you if you haven't heard that at the moment, but it was an absolutely cracking race. But bad news for Cadillac and Chip Ganassi Racing, with another car to rebuild. Happened to them at Spa last year as well, and Le Mans test day is 4 weeks away. We've got another IMSA race before then as well, don't we? We've got the Detroit Grand Prix, so there's some work to be done over in Europe. And it's not a simple matter of switching cars between the 2 codes either, because they aren't exactly the same specification, particularly for the logging loom for the 2 series. They are distinctively different. So Cadillac, another pole position for Cadillac, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's 4 in a row this season. So Pipo Derani's string finally broken there at 3, but he came within a tenth of a second. But Sebastian Bourdais was fastest today, and he will maintain that streak for Cadillac. 4 pole positions then in a row. That's a great way to start the season for Cadillac. And of course, that number 01 car, how did it do here last year? It won. So they're looking to keep that streak alive as well.
Renger van der Zander's 2 children congratulating Sebastian Bourdais, who we'll hear from now with Shea Adam, our CrowdStrike pit reporter.
And Renger just said, that's why you qualify, Seb, your 7th career pole, but this one, I think you wanted this one a lot more than some of the other ones, maybe.
No, I think we've been so close all year long, you know. I mean, Daytona, we made a bit of a mistake on the tire pressures, which kind of overshot when we needed them. Sebring, we obviously got the red flag, and we had that lap in, and then, you know, Long Beach, well, we only got 4 laps, so that was a big ask. But the guys have done a really good job. We have a great group this year. I feel like, you know, it took us a bit of time to really build that group, but now we got it. And I couldn't be any happier for the whole crew and Chip Ganassi Racing and Cadillac.
1:12.4, quite a lap, especially considering this place. But what did this sim say? Because if it was a perfect lap, the sectors would have added up to a 1:12.1. What were you guys expecting?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I made a mistake up top, locked up right front, and almost didn't make the corkscrew on that fast lap. So yeah, I was watching the time compare coming off the corkscrew and could see all the gain kind of fading away, and that was a nice feeling. But yeah, kind of managed to pull myself together in the last 3 corners and make it work. But yeah, it was far from ideal. But I think everybody struggled to probably put everything together because, you know, when you have multiple fast laps like that, it's difficult to do that anyways. But hustling those big cars around, there's a lot of movement and you know, you get so much more activity at the wheel than you do when you're like a second off, you know, and managing traffic and stuff. So the elevation, the banking, the compression, it definitely is quite a lot to take in just to put that lap together, because you just don't have any time to rehearse anything these days, because we don't have that split session, you know, where we can rehearse a quali run at the end anymore. So you always have traffic, so you never really get a good picture of what the quali car is going to feel like. But yeah, the car was great, and I'm really happy for everybody.
Well, starting the race tomorrow, exactly where you finished it last year. Hopefully we keep that streak alive.
Yeah, that would be good, because obviously as fun as it is to put these things on pole, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. So you know, I got a great teammate with Ranger, and I got no doubts that if we can keep our nose clean, we'll be up top.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, that is a stunning qualifying session that we have just witnessed to set the grid for the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship and the Motul course at Monterey. And we will be back with our Michelin countdown to green at 11:30 in the morning local time. We've got some Mazda racing for you as well. Don't go too far away if you're trackside. Still Lamborghini to come tonight. Shea Adam was our CrowdStrike pit reporter for the WeatherTech SportsCar Championship, and Jeremy Shaw was alongside me in the Ford Performance Global Broadcast Centre. I'm John Hindhaugh on behalf of the whole crew. Thank you very much indeed for being with us this Super Saturday.